Woo! Welcome back to Freshly Charged, guys, where we have the Ghostcat F4X. This is like a blend between an e-bike and an eMoto. One of the coolest form factors that I've ever seen, but the proof is in how it rides. So let's go ahead and check out this bike and do a quick walkthrough. So let's go ahead and check out the cockpit on this beast. Very sleek looking, full twist throttle, XOD hydraulic brakes, control module on the left side where you can go up and down through the pedal assist levels, turn on the light, and then go through the different types of settings on the odometer. Not a lot of different options, but very simplistic design and a really nice, crisp, and easy to read display. Quick disconnects for easy maintenance, Star Union front facing light, and this thing is surprisingly bright. Ghostcat logo on this front plastic piece, front plastic fender. We've got dual fork KKE suspension with 120 millimeters of travel. There's adjustable compression up here and adjustable rebound on the lower part of it. And then the real star of the show are these tires. Some of the coolest tires I've ever seen. They're the Maxxis Max Venture MT 20x4 inch tires. Nice and soft polymer, grippy, really deep treading, and a lot better than the CST BFT tire that we see on most of these 20x4 inch tire e-bikes. Nice big through axle bolt with 203 millimeter brake disc and 4-piston hydraulic brakes. And then it's starting to rain a little bit on me. The forecast said no rain. I looked at the clouds and I was like, man, it's probably gonna rain on me. So moving down the frame, we have a 60 volt, 25 amp hour battery with LG battery cells. There's an on and off switch. Also monitor to tell you how much battery charge is left, charge port, and a USB port. And then I also forgot to mention the display also has a USB port coming out of the bottom of it. Right behind the battery, we have a KKE suspension with adjustable compression up top and rebound at the bottom, a 2-person seat that you can get customized. Underneath the seat, we have a 55 amp controller housed in that housing, a rear tail light that also acts as a brake light. And then this is a single speed, so it's not really designed for pedaling. I think this is just added on for legality purposes to help it fit inside of an e-bike classification. But in reality, it's like a mini eMoto slash pit bike. Very interesting design, but I like it, especially here because sometimes in Summit County, they can be really on top of you if you don't have pedals while you're riding on this beautiful trail. So just keep that in mind that this can actually help you out to kind of skirt the legalities as they currently stand. Another one of those 20x4 inch Maxxis Max Venture tire in the rear. In the center of that beautiful tire is a 2200 watt Hangtech motor with a peak output of 3300 watts. It will produce 160 newton meters of torque and speeds of 40 plus miles per hour. I do like that it comes standard with pegs already built onto the bike so you can carry an extra passenger. And just like in the front, we have another 203 millimeter brake disc with 4-piston hydraulic brakes. Really strong brakes, really strong power, and really cool design that I've yet to test and review on the channel. We've tested something similar like a mini eMoto. We've tested something that's in the same form factor but very slow. So I'm excited to actually have a unique ride around this lake. In total, the bike weighs 86 pounds, and then it does come with some accessories, some straps to strap on the battery just to secure it because it does have a little bit of play on there. You're probably fine just riding it regular, but if you're going to be going off of curbs and hitting small jumps, you definitely want to secure with these straps. And another cool accessory that it comes with is this Rock Bros cell phone holder that kind of mounts up on the top tube. Pretty sleek. Also comes with a little rain cover. There is no official water resistance rating. I didn't expect it to rain, but hopefully that doesn't cause any type of issues as I'm riding around the lake. But just like in Summit County fashion, it was pitch black, raining, and we can already see the sun coming out. I'm excited to test this out, tell you what I love about it, what could be improved, and who should buy the Ghostcat F4X. But before I even jump into the riding, let's just go ahead and jump right into the speed testing. I wanted to test it out at full charge, and I was able to confirm it does hit 40 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. So I'm gonna try starting out with the speed test real quick while it's freshly charged. It's at full charge. It says 66.6 volts on here. 66.7 is the max. Well, let's start it right here. Okay, let's see this fast acceleration right now. Okay. So I'm at 15, 16, 22, 25, 29, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40 is what it showed. I saw 40, 40. All right, I'm gonna slow down here. So 41 miles per hour, 0 to 10 was 1.72 seconds, 0 to 20 was 4.05 seconds, 0 to 30 was 7.77 seconds, 0 to 40 17.97 seconds, and 0 to 41 in 22.83 seconds. So this little guy is just zippy. Yeah, you can get definitely 40 depending on your weight. I'm about 200 pounds right now. That's what I'm hitting, 40 miles per hour, 41. And it's a cold day right now. It's about 50 degrees. Let's go ahead and jump on this trail and see what kind of range we can get out of this beast and how fun it is. So as I ride, I'm going to tell you what I love about it, what could be improved, and who should buy the Ghostcat F4X. It almost feels like I'm a clown trying to pedal this thing. This is my favorite ride around Lake Dillon. It's just an epic ride. Cruising up this hill. I'm going up a pretty steep hill and it's climbing 32 miles per hour right now. This bike is fun. It's zippy. It's compact. It really reminds me of like a pit bike, especially because you can't really pedal this, so definitely more like a pit bike. And they've got brakes switched on this, so designed to do wheelies easier, so you can throttle and then brake with your left hand. So opposite of traditional bikes, but similar to what we see on some other eMotos. Man, it's chilly today. I'm glad I wore a thick jacket that's armored. Shout out to Lazy Rolling for keeping me protected, and also Predator helmets. All right, this is a fun little zippy S-curve right here. This S-curve goes into my favorite view of the lake. Check out this view, guys. Got an epic view, a hawk right there. Holy moly. All right, let's get back to the ride. Normally what we're used to seeing is bikes that go this fast are typically a lot heavier. So definitely unique ride feel and form factor. But man, if you guys are ever in Colorado, you definitely need to check out this bike trail. By far my favorite one. It's a 19-mile loop around the lake and epic views all around, especially this time of the year. Fall peeping through and nice, fun, windy roads. Handles well on these turns. On the edge of the tires, surprisingly, I thought it would maybe feel a little bit awkward on the edge of the tire because of the treading, but no, handles these turns really nice. So this is the turns that you got to be careful on. A lot of people just end up passing these people, but it's a blind turn and you got to just make sure that it's clear on the other side first before overtaking them. Thank you. They're working for their lunch, not me. There's not really much work with this bike. You can pedal, so I could try to pedal, but it feels like my knees are up in my chest. So I can see it's peaking out at 32, 34 watts right there. It's supposed to go up to 3,300. I've seen 32, 34 just barely. But I'm hoping that the range estimates of 25 to 35 miles at throttle only is right, because I do not want to walk home. Yeah, it's a little wet out here, or else I'd be bombing down this hill. I'm just taking it easy. Going down this hill, going about 35 miles per hour, but it is chilly. It's chilly in here. That probably will impact the battery range. I can already tell the rear fender is not doing a great job because my butt feels like it's soaking wet. But I guess it could have also been some of the rain that was on the seat from when I was doing the walkthrough. I'll check to see what my backpack looks like when I get to the bottom of this hill. 42 on the display here. And I'm going downhill, so not really accurate, but at least it does let you go past a certain speed. Let me look at what my backpack looks like real quick. Yeah, it just looks like it's been getting soaked right here. You can totally tell that it's soaked on this rear end. So that rear fender, that little tiny thing, not doing a great job. But it looks sleek. The whole bike looks sleek. Yeah, let's just keep going. But yeah, look at these fall colors peeping through here. And these Hangtech motors are really strong and powerful. They're nylon motors reinforced with steel, and they definitely produce a lot of torque. What I'm impressed with is this thing does not slow down climbing up hills. So I'm going to take a little bit of a detour down this road because it's really epic right now. Really nice fall colors coming through on this road. So right now I'm hitting 42.6 miles per hour, and it looks like it's pretty much capped out at that. It's not letting me go any faster. So yeah, I'm just gonna pull up here and tell you what I love about this bike. Ooh. These brakes are really strong, which is one of my favorite things about it. Really what it comes down to is this is such a fun form factor. Really great and compact and fun. That really should be the name of this bike, the Ghostcat Fun Bike. Suspension is surprisingly good. It's really the same suspension that they have on electric dirt bikes, but inside of a small compact e-bike. You can upgrade the seat easily, but the seat right now as it sits, it's really comfortable. I haven't had any issues with my butt feeling like it feels awkward on the seat. Nice and comfy for this ride. The tire choice is by far my favorite tire choice that I've ever seen on one of these fat tire e-bikes. Really nice soft compound. Maxxis makes a really high quality tire. Fairly large battery, 60 volt, 25 amp hour battery, a lot bigger than what we see on most e-bikes. And it's nice that it's 60 volts because you can actually tap into quite a bit of power. The 55 amp controller helps deliver some of that power as well. The front facing light, ultra bright, one of the brightest that we've ever seen on an e-bike. I'd actually go as far as saying it is the brightest one we've ever seen on an e-bike, but in reality, is this an e-bike or is this an eMoto? Let us know in the comments below. The display is really easy to read in direct sunlight. I like that it's an LCD display rather than just one of those small compact displays that look like a Casio watch. I do love these grips. They're nice and soft, feel good underneath your hands. I do love that it comes with a full twist throttle. Some people prefer the half twist throttles just because of safety purposes of putting their hand on something and it's not always live, but I don't mind it. It really fits the form factor of this bike because in reality, you're not going to be really pedaling it. It's just there for legality purposes. Oh, and I spoke about the brakes, but yeah, let's just look at them. They're so beefy. 203 millimeter brake discs, 4-piston hydraulic brakes. Magnificent. Really good stuff. One huge plus about this bike is it's already ready for 2 people. I love that it has a nice long saddle and pegs already on here. That's nice that you can carry another person if you want to already. I really love these Hangtech motors. They have these nylon gears inside of them and they just help generate a lot of power when pulling on the throttle. And really one of the biggest pluses to this bike is just look how stunning it looks. I've already got a few comments on here. Hey, that's one of the nicest looking e-bikes I've ever seen. A lot of the 20x4 inch fat tire e-bikes really look similar. This one has a very unique profile, so that's one huge plus to it, is just looking unique. But overall, this bike's not perfect. There's definitely some things that can be improved on it. So at my next stop, I'm going to tell you what could be improved on the Ghostcat F4X. Actually, I forgot to mention one huge selling point for Ghostcat, and that is that they're based in the US. Their whole customer service team is in the US. They'll pick up the phone. I had to talk to them about their customer service aspect because this bike wasn't as fast before. They upgraded the controllers, and a lot of times if you're an early adopter and they make changes, you're pretty much screwed. You have to either pay to upgrade it, but they were actually handling shipping the controllers back to them, shipping them back to you for you to reinstall them. So I do love that they provided that good customer service to early adopters to make sure that they're getting just as good of a bike as people who are late adopters. One cool thing about this year's fall is most of the time it's just golden, but this year there's a lot of orange and a lot of red going on. The reason why was there was a drought going on and they thought fall was going to come early, and then it just started pouring rain the past month and a half. So it slowed down the fall colors, but due to that, it really created some unique orange and red colors that we don't normally see up here. So there's some orange right there, some red. But yeah, I think their stated range of 25 to 35 miles in full throttle is pretty accurate. We'll see when we get to the end though. Yeah, I've been up here for 3 days and every day it just keeps changing and changing. It's happening so fast. One of the cool things about Season, it shows you, change is good. Oh man, that guy was all mad. Don't worry guy, you're gonna make the video. Man, this is a lot of fun. Nice and bouncy, smooth riding. How can you not like this bike? Man, this suspension is really plush. Oh yeah, there's some chunky rocks. That was like super bumpy. And that thing just handled it with ease. It's really bumpy. I don't know if you can really tell by the camera, but it's super bumpy through here. And I'm just standing on the pegs, or the pedals, might as well be pegs, and easy to absorb the shock. These shocks work excellent. Man, those tires are nice too. Launching, boom! That just bumped the rear end up. That was crazy. I just hit that little nudge and the whole bike just launched up, and that's a testament to the power performance per weight on this bike. Only 86 pounds and can go 41 miles per hour. Definitely one of the better power performances per weight. It also doesn't look like an e-bike, so that's kind of one of the things that you get with this bike is, yes, it's got pedals to make it look like an e-bike, but doesn't look like an e-bike because of the massive tires, the very bright light, the little plastic thing in the front that makes it look like a dirt bike. All right, let's take it off this little trail right here on this right side. This is a good little off-road trail. Try it on. Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Let's see. Okay. Nice. This bike is pretty much just a mini dirt bike. Oh, here's a photo opportunity. You guys want a photo together? Perfecto. ¿Cómo está? Bien? De nada.
Bueno.
All right, let's take you guys' photo. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres, queso. Just kidding.
Thank you.
Yeah, de nada. Mucho gusto. Do something nice for someone else today, okay, guys? And speaking about that, that's kind of how me joining the Freshly Charged channel happened. You know, I had no intention of being on Jimmy's channel. I was just trying to help him out by reviewing some things that I was buying, and then it kind of took off. So thank you guys for the support. Thank you for letting me live my dream of riding around this lake over 100 times on different types of PEVs. Man, I'm really thankful for you guys and thankful for the support of the community. I just love fall. I love changing seasons because it's just kind of an example of your life, you know? You go through these seasons, you go through these changes, and it's time to shed off the old and start out with the new. So right now, shedding off the old, everything you learned this year, the leaves are falling off, and then next year you're going to be able to grow again in spring. There's my analogy for the day, and I'm sticking to it. This looks like a great place to stop and tell you what could be improved on the Ghostcat F4X. The number one thing for me is this isn't really an e-bike. It looks like an e-bike kind of because it has pedals, but in reality, if you're choosing an e-bike and you want to get some exercise by pedaling, this isn't going to be the bike for you. The second thing is there is some weird delay when you go to pull on the throttle, especially when I just go to start out and I yank on the throttle, you'll feel some kind of stuttering from the motor, and then it just takes off like a rocket. So very interesting that it does that weird thing of jerking when you go to pull the throttle at first. I would like for this to have some type of water resistance rating, just at least tell us where it's kind of at, because I was worried being out in the rain. At least it didn't rain super hard, but you just don't know, can this handle light rain? Can it handle heavy rain? Most likely can't handle heavy rain, but the big thing for me is, can it handle light rain? So I would have liked like an IPX5 water resistance rating, just so I had a little bit of peace of mind when I was sitting out in the rain earlier. This whole design to strap in the battery, I'm not a huge fan of it. I like that they provided something, probably because they ran into issues with the battery falling off of the mounting, but I would have liked for them to find some way to secure this without having to put these straps over the logo. Ultimately, I do understand they probably left this open in case you want to upgrade to a larger battery, but I'm just not a huge fan of this look of having straps to secure the battery. The turning radius is not the greatest. It's pretty tight because, as you can see, there's these little rubber bumpers to prevent you from scratching. Oh, that was my foot that just got ran over. Good thing it's only 86 pounds rather than a 150-pound e-bike that goes 40 miles per hour. It ripped up my shoe. It's about time I get some new shoes anyways. So yeah, going along with what I said earlier, you can't really pedal this bike. It is only a single speed. So just know that once you get to a certain speed, pedaling is pretty much worthless, and it's pretty much worthless unless you're underneath 5 foot tall or standing up and pedaling. It's really hard to pedal and put pressure into pedaling while you're sitting down. Speaking of that, I would like for them to figure out a way that I can just install some pegs. I don't really care to make it look like an e-bike. I get it that some people are going to want this because they live in like a specific place like in California where they're really cracking down on people for not having pedals on their bikes. But for me here in Colorado, I would have just liked for this to have some pegs because I'm not really using the pedaling at all. And this bike is tapped out at 42 miles per hour. The fact that it has a 60 volt battery and a 55 amp controller, I think this can actually go much faster than the 42 miles per hour that it's capped out at. So I think they're just trying to prevent more damage to the motor, prevent damage to the controllers. I get it, but I feel like with that much voltage and the amps pumping out of the controller, you could technically go slightly faster. But in reality, 42 miles is typically plenty for most people. Rear fender, that's pretty much garbage. That did nothing for me. It just shot up all this mud in the rear end, and my back is covered in mud and my backpack. This front fender also is mounted kind of weird, so this can actually shift left and right. I don't know if you can see that movement there. Normally these will actually be locked into this front plate, that it doesn't create that type of movement. I would have liked for them to just design this a little bit better. This does take a little bit more assembly than most other e-bikes out there, so I had to assemble the handlebars, which is pretty common for them. I had to put the kickstand on. I also had to connect the rear suspension linkage with the suspension, the front badge cover, that front fender. So there is a little bit more assembly that's involved with this bike. And the other problem is that the tools that it comes with are really garbage. They're not really high quality. So I wish that they would provide some better tools. You can technically assemble it with the tools, but they're very soft metal. You're going to strip bolts. That's pretty much it of what I feel could be improved on the Ghostcat F4X. It's a really sweet bike and it's really fun, which is the biggest selling point of why you want to pick up this bike. So I'm going to go ahead and keep finishing out this loop, tell you what the final battery level is once I finish out the loop so you can give an estimate of what range you can expect, and then also tell you who should buy the Ghostcat F4X. Hi! To that little girl. She didn't discriminate against me. She didn't assume that I'm not an e-bike. I forgot to mention what I do like is how accurate this display is. Most of these e-bike companies are not very accurate with their displays. Well, not really e-bikes. I'd say scooters are even worse. Some of the e-scooters we ride are like 10 to 15 miles per hour off. This is really spot on. I just like looking at this eagle. How cool is this view right here? I've taken this shot with a lot of PEVs and I call this the freedom shot. Look at that. Freedom! It's a little rocky down here, but here, I guess this is a good off-road test. Go through these chunky things, chunky rocks. Boom! Dang, that thing just rode right through that large rock. Bam! Holy cow. This thing is great. Great for off-roading. Holy cow, really comfortable. All right, the end of the road, the end of this review, and we finally made it around the lake. Let's go ahead and look at the Strava app and see exactly what type of range we got and the average speed. It says the average speed was 20.4 miles per hour. Took me an hour and 10 minutes to get around the lake and a total distance of 23.77 miles. So I kind of went all over the place. I went around the lake, went all these little loops. I don't know if you can see that. Not quite the full loop, but I'm going to make it home. The battery level says it's at 53.8. I should be able to go all the way down to about 49 volts and it should be empty. So looks like we still have 4.8 volts left. So decent range. I think I would easily get that 25 miles of stated range, and I was hammering down on the throttle at most times. Only reason why it's a 20 mile per hour average speed is because I did have to slow down through those blind turns and where pedestrians were at. But overall, lived up to the hype, lived up to the top speed. So that's great news for people who are looking for at least 25 miles of range at full throttle. You should get that out of the Ghostcat F4X. And so who should buy this bike? Really, it's for someone who doesn't want to ride a traditional bicycle. This isn't a bicycle by any means. Pedaling is pretty worthless. It's all about the throttle. For someone who wants an eMoto style bike that looks like an e-bike. And if you're looking for a fun time, you definitely want to check out this bike. Check out our full written review at freshlycharged.com and make sure that when you ride, wear your safety gear.